Between school drop off and pickup, you've got 5 hours to work on your business, maybe, if you're lucky. So, how do I run my business in this window? I would love to share it with you. My name is Danielle Gray, and I am a business coach for moms who are looking for clarity and to keep their sanity while they scale to six figures during school hours. And I'm so glad that you're here. So, first, I want to talk about why I actually aim for a 20-hour work week instead of a 25-hour work week, even though I really have 25 hours to work with, right? If you have between drop off and pickup, my son is in school for about 5 hours, and that gives me 25 hours a week. But I don't like to use that whole 25 hours to schedule in business activities for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to work every second that my son's in class. I don't want to be stuck at my computer. I want to be more efficient than that. And there are tons of ways that we can do that. And I will go into those in future episodes. But another reason is because I don't know about you and your child's school, but it seems like every other week there's a non-instructional day or a pro D day, or there's stat holidays, of course, in every single month, I think. And there's half days and conference days, and then there's field trips and things that I want to volunteer for. And so instead of planning to use 25 hours a week and having to consistently condense those hours, I prefer to just work with 20 hours a week, and then I actually have a built-in 5-hour buffer. Okay? Because also, let's be real, some days you just don't feel like it. Some days you just don't have the energy to get everything you want to get done. So why set yourself up for failure when you can set yourself up for success by just efficiently using your time? And I've already done another video about time management that I'll link below in the description box. When you can manage your time properly so that you don't even need the whole 20 hours, doesn't that make more sense? It's also important that you're clear with yourself about how you're using those hours and calling yourself out when you catch yourself doing something that doesn't need to be done during working hours. So for example, I have had to more than once actively catch myself in the middle of folding a piece of laundry or putting dishes in the dishwasher to just walk away and leave it for later, because anything that can be done when my son is at home, I leave to do when my son is at home. I would rather spend time with him, obviously, but let's be real, he's 9 now and he doesn't really want to spend every second that he's home with me anyway. But I also don't want to be working my business when he's home, because we have to remember that actions speak louder than words. And I cannot be telling him that he's more important than my business or my clients or whatever, but then constantly have him walk in on me on my computer. So to make sure that I'm integral to what I'm saying and that he is more important than my business and my clients, I reserve business things for business hours, which are the hours that he's in school, which means I don't work during spring break, hardly. I don't work more than I have to over summer break, with the exception of client calls, which is actually one of the things that I am actively setting up right now. At the time of recording this, it's April 9th. And so I've got about 10 weeks, maybe 11, until school gets out for the summer. So my main focus right now is setting up and using my 20 hours a week, 25 when I get them, to set my business up so that it can attract, nurture, and serve ideal clients over the summer, so that I only actively have to be in my business when I am needed personally, for coaching calls, for Q&As, engagement in our various threads and things. But otherwise, everything that goes into running my business, I'm batching it now so that over the summer I can just relax and work on my tan like it's my full-time job. But this is why I don't do errands, or, well, I run the odd errand while my son's in school, because sometimes that is just easier, let's be real. But this is also why I only plan for a 20-hour work week instead of a 25-hour work week. So when I have an errand I need to run in the day, that while he's at school, I can do that and not have it infringe on my business hours. And then when I do that, I also make sure that I'm incorporating something else that I want to get done. So for example, I like to get steps in because I sit way too much. So one of the things I'll do is I will run my errands, and then my husband and I, we only have one vehicle. He also has a motorcycle, but on the days when the weather's not nice enough to take the motorcycle, we need to share the vehicle. Now, most of the time I can plan around this and run errands when the weather's nice, or we can work around it somehow. But some days, especially over the fall and the winter, it's harder to be able to do that. So one of the things that I'll do is I'll run my errands, and then I will, if it's groceries or whatever, I'll come home, I'll unpack them, I'll put them away. Then I will take the car down to the shop where my husband works, leave it for him, and then I will walk home. It's only about a 15 or 20-minute walk. I actually love it though, because it helps me incorporate time in nature. It helps me incorporate getting some activity in. And while I'm walking, I can either just, be in nature, or I can listen to a podcast, or I can leave voice notes for my clients, listen to voice notes from my clients. I can record, an Instagram story or something. Like, I can double down on that time and make it worth my while as well. Right? And let's be real, we all need a break. So it's not like 15 minutes a walk is going to infringe on anything. But again, this is why I schedule for 20 hours instead of 25, so that I have that 5-hour buffer that I can use however I see fit. So sometimes I do use that to work more, and sometimes I use it for myself. Sometimes I use it to wash my hair. So it just depends on what's going on, but I like to have that buffer built in. So how do you use your time, and how can you build buffers into your week? I want you to really spend some time getting honest with yourself about the way that you use your time. And one of the best ways you can do this is just to start track it for the next couple of days. Like, just be really honest with yourself about how you're spending your time. Do kind of a time audit, and just keep track of when you start your day, when you end your day, how you're using the time in the day, how many times you get distracted, right? How many times you pick up your phone while something is loading. You're going to want to stop doing that. I highly recommend, here's some pro tips for using your time a little bit better, is have your phone and your computer on do not disturb. And when you can, this one's a little bit difficult because I do use my phone a lot for my business as well, but I also find it can be a huge distraction, especially if a notification comes in while I'm on my phone trying to schedule a post out or something. So I will, when I can, as much as I can, put my phone on do not disturb, and I also leave it in another room so that I can't even just pick it up while something loads, because I know myself and you know yourself. So be honest with yourself. If you're somebody who is constantly picking up your phone at every notification, or picking up your phone while ChatGPT runs out the task you asked it to do, or while your video uploads to YouTube or whatever, stop doing that, because not only is it a huge time sucker, but you're also task switching, which is using up brain energy. I talked about this more in a previous video that I, again, will link down below about time management. But every time you switch tasks, your brain is switching on and off to these different things, and you use a significant amount of energy and calories and thought process to switch and get into the groove of a new task. So you're much better off to just stay focused and record your videos in a batch, or write your blog posts in a batch, or write your social media posts in a batch, write your emails in a batch. Batch things out. It's so much more effective. And again, this applies to motherhood and running a household too, because how we do one thing is how we do all things. So just keep that in mind. Time batching is really important, but keep track of your time leaks. And when you're ready, I have a free resource down below, my 20-hour work week blueprint for mom entrepreneurs, which helps you schedule your work week into the 20 hours that you have, building in that 5-hour buffer. And what you'll find is I actually like to plan on a bigger scale. I really am a huge proponent of reverse engineering. You'll hear me talk about this a lot on this channel. Getting clear on the vision, getting clear on the outcome, getting clear on the goal, and then working backwards. That is the most efficient way that you can get everything organized and to stay on track, because we don't want to get distracted. We only have 20 hours a week to build our empires, and we want to make sure it happens. So if this video was helpful, I would love it if you would let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions about anything that I discussed, or if it sparked any areas of interest that you would like me to touch on in the future, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to answer your questions in a future video. And if you have any feedback for me, any comments, I would love to hear that below in the comments as well. And of course, while you're down there, I would love it if you would hit like and subscribe to the channel so that we can hang out some more, because I hope you found this valuable. I love hanging out with you, and I hope you have a great day.